All right, so this next video is looking at the Whites. They are at the Boulder City Council in 2014. So this is almost 10 years after JonBenet has passed. This is um, no, almost 20 years. I don't know why I'm mixing that up. I'm thinking about Patsy. Thinking about Patsy's. It's almost um, 10 years after Patsy, and almost 20 years after JonBenet. Um, and so shout out to the Ramsey case. This is a channel. And just so you know, the right one, it has about 6.8K subs at the time of this video. 6.8K subs. I'm gonna go ahead and like the video. Shout out to this individual. Go like and look through some more of their videos. Another small channel, but not trying to show any favoritism. Just saying that small channel. So if you like the information here and what you see here, go like, subscribe, and at least watch some more videos, give some views and stuff like that. So here we go.
Good evening. My name is Fleet White, and I live at 4350 Comanche Drive in Boulder. My wife, Priscilla, and I have lived in Boulder since 1994. On Christmas Day, 1996, John and Patsy Ramsey and their children, Burke and JonBenet, were dinner guests at our home. The next day, we were present at the Ramsey home when JonBenet's body was found. Priscilla and I and our children instantly became witnesses in the Boulder police investigation of JonBenet's death. We eventually became publicly critical of then Boulder District Attorney Alex Hunter's handling of that investigation. And in 1998 and 1999, we cooperated with prosecutors and gave sworn testimony to the Boulder grand jury. As was publicly revealed last fall, the Ramseys were indicted on felony charges related to JonBenet's death. The indictments, however, were not presented in open court in accordance with Colorado law. Instead, at the conclusion of the grand jury in October 1999, District Attorney Hunter, along with numerous Boulder and Colorado law enforcement and government officials who were privy to the grand jury proceedings, chose to keep the indictment secret and then make public pronouncements that were designed to mislead the public to conclude the grand jury had failed to indict. On February 25, 2000, only 4 months following Mr. Hunter's public deceptions regarding the grand jury proceedings, he conspired with the Boulder Daily Camera to take the extraordinary step of publishing a front-page headline story of an unidentified woman from California who had come forward with claims that, quote, if true, could mean the Ramsey case has tangled in more people than originally thought, end quote. The woman was soon publicly identified as Nancy Krebs. The Daily Camera story triggered widespread speculation that I was involved in JonBenet's death and had committed crimes spanning decades involving prodded by Mr. Hunter and the Daily Camera, the Boulder police conducted a wasteful 11-week investigation of Ms. Krebs' false claims and allegations that concluded with a May 15, 2000 city press release that states the investigation had found no evidence to support Ms. Krebs' beliefs that JonBenet had been murdered by a, quote, sex ring, end quote. Otherwise, the city offered the public no information regarding the investigation of the woman's veracity and did nothing to dispel speculation caused by the Daily Camera article regarding alleged crimes unrelated to JonBenet's death by members of our family. The defamation spawned by Mr. Hunter and the Daily Camera in 2000 was then and continues to be devastating to our family. We have absolutely no doubt the Daily Camera and Mr. Hunter exploited Ms. Krebs and published the article with the intent of casting suspicion on our family in relation to JonBenet's death, destroying our reputations and credibility as police and prosecution witnesses in the investigation and grand jury proceedings, and silencing us as critics of Mr. Hunter.
Your time is up.
Thank you. My better half's going to have some additional time.
Thank you. Priscilla White?
So I guess what they're trying to do, and I am glad because I've never seen Priscilla before, but I thought, and this is going to help me confirm, I thought I saw her in the pictures for the party that night, and she was standing beside her son. And that is interesting because I've not seen Doug Stein. I've not seen the kids. I've not seen what his kids look like. I was just doing some digging and came up on what I thought was the kids. And so I had to do some more digging and try to see if that was the kids. And I think it is. And so it's interesting. I want to see her here now. So I guess they're basically coming, from what I read somewhere, they're coming to the council and saying, hey, you guys screwed us. You guys making us look stupid. Do something about that. And it's not true.
My name is Priscilla White. I live at 4350 Comanche Drive in Boulder. I am married to Fleet White, who spoke previously on this same matter. In 2002, as some of you may recall, we asked the city for police records regarding the 2000 investigation of Miss Krebs' claims. That request was denied, and we brought an action in district court under the Colorado Criminal Justice Records Act. Following a hearing, the court released 285 pages of transcriptions of the women's police interviews detailing her absurd and false accusations against members of our family that had been the basis for the 2000 daily camera publications. The court, however, did not release any records concerning the investigations of Miss Krebs' fabrications. In 2011, we again asked the city for the investigative file. That request was denied. On February 19th of this year, following the revelations concerning the Ramsey indictments, we once again asked the city to inspect and copy the police files regarding the Krebs investigation that was concluded nearly 14 years ago. Once again, the city has refused. Yesterday, we received an email from the Boulder City attorney threatening that if we ask the district court for an order requiring the city to show cause for its refusal, the city will consider such application to be, quote, frivolous, groundless, and vexatious, end quote, and seek sanctions against us from the court. We have nonetheless filed with the court a complaint, an application for order to show cause, and we have faith that the Boulder District Court will ignore any such claim by the city and issue an order for the city to show cause for its refusal to allow public access to the Krebs investigation records. To be clear.
So what's funny about that is that what they're trying to do and what they're asking is like, yo, you know, you guys have put us under this umbrella. From what I understand, you guys have put us under this umbrella of suspicion. And it's to us has been baseless, seems like. And you went off, which is funny. You went off, and specifically talking about DA Hunter. Let's get into it. You went off of a lady calling and saying, oh, this might be the case, such and such and such. And that got us involved. Don't know how we got here, but that got us involved. And so now you dragged us all the way down here. And we're trying to figure out how we got here. You hid this part from us, but then you dragged us and we kept us involved over here. And we need for there to be more transparency in this case because we're getting sick and tired of this. And that's interesting because when I'm coming to you and I'm speaking for the whites, when I'm coming to you and I'm saying, hey, you know, you need to clear our names. Oh, you keep essentially in legal talk, you keep pestering us and you keep sending these letters up here. You need to leave us alone. And if you keep doing that, you know what? We're just going to start denying your claims. And we're just going to say this is frivolous. That's like you calling somewhere and asking for a refund. And that's my money. You know what I mean? That's my money. Oh, you calling up here for $5. You calling up here for $10. You know, if you keep on doing this, we're not even going to take your call anymore. We're just going to hang up on you in your face. And I had to deal with a situation like that maybe last week to where it's like, yo, that's not your money involved. Yeah, it's not your money tied up. So of course you're just punching the clock. You don't really care. But for me, my money's tied up in that. So, you know, while you call it frivolous and you just want to hang up in my face, I'm gonna call right back. Because I'm trying to get my money. I'm sorry. I don't mean to bug you. I understand you're just doing your job, but I'm also doing my job and trying to make sure I get my money. Fair is fair. And so that's essentially what they're saying. But the point that's interesting to me is that they're calling these people saying, could you please clear our name? That's a frivolous act based on what this woman said. But if Mr. Hoffman came and said, hey, we got two experts that, you know, they're going to send in their analysis and say that Patsy did it. You know, can you guys take a look at that and put it in grand jury proceedings and at least call them up and ask them about their expertise? Michael Caine, special prosecutor, assistant DA to DA Hunter, wrote back in respect and in representation of DA Hunter and said, that's frivolous. You're not credible. We're not going to do that. So Mike and Alex, help me understand. What kind of decisions, where's the basis for what y'all choose to use and not use? I'm confused. Like, what's the basis? Because everybody comes up, you get all the witnesses and everybody comes up and they testify and they say, and someone's like, oh man, you can indict a ham sandwich. I think what John was saying. It's like, yeah, but I'm trying to understand what help us understand how to establish cause. What cause do we need? Because it seems like you guys are just shooting things down left and right, even legitimate claims like you're disparaging citizens. Now y'all are going to want to sue people, huh? The Ramseys are going to want to get out here and sue people for making disparaging claims against them, right? They're going to get out and sue these people, take them to court. You hit them up with 500 million and 250 million for this, 500 million for this, 750 million. CBS, get off my back is what you're going to do. National Enquirer, get off my back. We're coming from you. And I think I read an article where it was already, people already knew what they were doing. When they hired Lynn Wood, they said they're gearing up to start suing, going to civil court is what they're gearing up for. And I would expect, that they're gearing up for Berg's sake. And so these people are saying the same thing. Hey, man, you kind of, but when anybody comes against the Ramsey, say, hey, man, you disparage my name. What about that? Oh, no, we didn't. And then Priscilla and Fleet come and say, look, you disparaged my name. It's the city. You disparaged my name. Well, no, we didn't. And that's frivolous. Stop talking to us about it. Really? Picking and choosing. Cherry picking.
We seek investigative records from the city that may provide our family vindication from Ms. Krebs' false claims and accusations as detailed in the interview transcriptions publicly released by the court in 2002. We also seek a measure of transparency regarding the motives and actions of those who engaged in or abetted attempts to destroy our family simply because we posed a threat to their interests in relation to the JonBenet Ramsey homicide investigation. 20 years ago, we picked Boulder as the place to raise our young family, and over the years, this community has given us a mixture of blessings and burdens. Among the burdens has been our experience as Boulder police witnesses in the JonBenet Ramsey homicide investigation. Cooperating with law enforcement officers by telling everything you know or don't know about the commission of a crime is something that all citizens should be prepared to do. That is what our family did when we did so without any expectations other than to hope that whoever was responsible for JonBenet's death would be brought to justice. Instead, it was our family who were publicly branded as murderers, torturers of young children. We ask that this council apprise itself of the facts and issues underlying this matter, and after consideration, cause the public release of criminal justice records as we requested.
Thank you. I have Vivian Palmer, Chris Middledorf, and
White. Looks like there's a number of Whites here in a row. So, Fleet.
Good evening. My name is Fleet White, and I live at 4350 Comanche Drive in Boulder. You may recall that our family is currently engaged in litigation with the city concerning a criminal justice records request that we made pursuant to Colorado statutes relative to the 2000 Boulder police investigation of the claims and allegations of Nancy Krebs against our family. We last addressed the city council on this on March 18th. You may be aware that the Boulder District Court has since dismissed our application for an order for the city to show cause why it should not release those records to us and to the public. We have made a motion to the court asking for it to reconsider, and the city has filed a reply in opposition. Last Thursday, on May 29th, we sent the city council transcripts of the 2000 Boulder police interviews of Nancy Krebs that were released by the Boulder District Court in 2002 in a similar court action that we had to bring against the city to show cause why the Krebs investigation records were not to be released. We wanted you to read those so that you understand what has been placed in the public record without any offsetting information from the Boulder police investigation. We trust the city council has read all of the material that we have provided regarding this matter, and you've been fully advised by the city attorney regarding the litigation and the basis for denying our family and the public access to those records.
Fleet, I have to cut you off there. Daphne White.
My name is Daphne White. My address is 4350 Comanche Drive, Boulder, Colorado. I am a graduate of Boulder Public Schools and a 2014 graduate of the United States Naval Academy. My name is Daphne White. My address is 4350 Comanche Drive,
Okay, that makes sense. Ah, there it is. Okay, okay.
Boulder, Colorado.
I think I saw her stuff too. I think I saw her information as well, but I wasn't sure because it's like this is Daphne Rose, and she went to the Naval Academy. I think Fleet White. There's a Fleet White the third. And I didn't know all this, but there's a Fleet White the third. When I was doing the research, there's a Fleet White the third because Fleet White is Fleet White Jr. And so there's a Fleet White the third, which is the son, which was in the picture with Priscilla at the Christmas party while they were decorating the gingerbread houses, and JonBenet was kind of doing her thing as well over there. And then you had Fleet White the third, and then you had Priscilla standing over him. But then you had in the back Susan Stein, like kind of back there, not too far. You could see her face of Susan Stein. So this is, and I don't remember seeing her in the picture, but maybe I didn't recognize her because she was younger. This is Daphne Rose. She went to the Naval Academy. I think Fleet White the third also went to some sort of military, also has some sort of military experience as well. But I was confused about her because I was like, man, is this a sister or is it somebody else? Okay, so now, okay.
I am a graduate of Boulder Public Schools and a 2014 graduate of the United States Naval Academy. I am an ensign in the United States Navy. JonBenet Ramsey was my best friend. I was 6 years old when she was murdered in 1996. I became a Boulder police witness in the investigation by the Boulder Police Department and was interviewed many times by various members of Boulder law enforcement. My big brother, Fleet, and I were too young in 2000 to fully understand the damage that would be inflicted on our family as a result of the publication of Nancy Krebs' lies. Now we do understand. If any of you, ladies and gentlemen, here this evening do not think that what my family has to say is important, I want to emphasize to you that there has perhaps never been a more egregious injustice against a family.
And I want to make a point to say this. They're saying that, and this is the difference between, I think, Fleet White and John Ramsey, the Fleet White camp and the John Ramsey camp. When Fleet White says release the information to the public so we can all see it, he means it. Yo, like I ain't got nothing to hide. Release it all. Talk to me. Like, look, we want to talk about it. And furthermore, Fleet White didn't have to go back to the police station to be talked to. Fleet White was talking to the cops at the house. If I'm remembering Officer French's report correctly, Fleet was talking to the people at the house already. I'm just trying to see what's going on. I'm just trying to see what's up. So not only that, but as Daphne is saying, and she's like, yeah, yo, I mean, we've been, as kids, we've been interviewed numerous times. How many times was Burke interviewed by the cops? Not numerous, like a handful. Not numerous. So Fleet and the Fleet clan is like, let's get it all out there, because Fleet's mindset, and he means that. So when Fleet says, I'm open, this is where we see the separation. You wonder where the friendship starts to fall off. Here, they are explaining to you why the friendship fell off, because Fleet is saying, let's jump in and solve this, John. Let's do it. Let's try to make sure the police have everything they need to solve this thing. Let's Fleet went down there and he started looking for JonBenet. He's looking, he's like, and I guess it was Daphne. She was hiding under bed. My daughter, man, I understand what you're going through, having lost your daughter, man. Let's jump on this thing so we can find her. Fleet went to the cops immediately. That's what I was going to say. I was going to say Casey Anthony, but that's what I was going to say. Fleet did the same thing. Immediately when he thought he was missing a kid, and that's the major disagreement with that I had with the behavioral panel. When he thought he was missing a kid, he was like, hey man, look, I got to call and see what's going on immediately. Let's jump on this. Right? When the grandmother, of Kaylee Anthony. Just, hey, I got a call. What's going on? They didn't try to frame anybody. They didn't try to frame Zanny the nanny. Like, they didn't try to frame anyone. They didn't try to be like, Fleet the third, what have you done? And then be like, oh, yeah, backtracking. They didn't do any of that. They called the cops and said, hey, my daughter's missing. I just want to find my daughter. And then when they found her, it's like, oh, she's under the bed. They didn't have to be like, oh, you know, I thought my son did it. It doesn't make sense.
And this council.
So this family has been very forward and upfront about, to me, about like, hey, let's get this thing solved. I'm not saying they're perfect. Definitely have some questionable things that they've done, but more upfront than I think the Ramseys, in my opinion, from what it seems like based on what I'm reading and researching.
Has the power to release the Nancy Krebs file in its entirety. I respectfully ask that you take that action. Please make the records public so that whatever truth they possess may offset the lies and injustice committed against my dad, my mom, my big brother, and myself, because it's the right thing to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Priscilla? Oh.
Just out of order, I guess.
Oh.
Good evening. My name is also Fleet White. I'm Fleet White III. My permanent address is 4350 Comanche Drive in Boulder, Colorado. I'm a graduate of the Boulder Public Schools and a 2012 graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy. I'm currently an officer in the U.S. Navy. I also was a childhood friend.
He's a lawyer now.
Friend of JonBenet and Burke Ramsey. Along with the rest of my family, I was a police witness for the investigation into JonBenet's death. Boulder prosecutors also interviewed me in relation to the Boulder grand jury that indicted John and Patsy Ramsey for crimes related to the death of JonBenet.
I didn't know what he looked like, and it's just crazy because I should have just watched this. And I would have known instead of doing all the research and then figuring it out. So just wasted my time. But not really, though. I got to know these people.
Because we live in the internet age, the lies and filth that the Boulder Daily Camera and Alex Hunter unleashed against my family in 2000 will follow us for the rest of our lives. I ask you to put yourself in my shoes. As a young adult starting my career, I have to live with Google search results that associate my name with the failed JonBenet Ramsey murder investigation and the lies that Alex Hunter promoted in order to protect himself and John and Patsy Ramsey. My family...
He's really mad. Like, he's really mad. Like, he's not playing. Like, he's like, so Daphne is the one who's like, Dad, you know, we can't let him get away with this. But he is the go-getter. He's the go-getter. He's the more aggressive one. He's all in your face. He's all in your face. Daphne comes with a softer tone. He's like, hey, man, it's my family. Please understand. And you need both. You need the hot and cold. Daphne is the cold. He is the hot. You can see his eyebrows going up and down to let you know, like, I didn't appreciate this ignorance and this stupidity coming from the DA. Let's get it.
And I are Boulder police witnesses. For that reason, and for that reason alone, we have suffered the worst defamation imaginable. I request that you, as the Boulder City Council, direct the Boulder Police Department to release the documents we request to alleviate some of the damage this city has caused us. Thank you.
Thank you. I knew he was going to say that. Thank you.
With the failed JonBenet Ramsey murder investigation and the lies that Alex Hunter promoted in order to protect himself and John and Patsy Ramsey.
Well, you said it, not me.
My family and I are Boulder police witnesses. For that reason, and for that reason alone, we have suffered. My family and I are Boulder police witnesses. For that reason.
You see how he cut his eyes over there? That boy ain't playing. This is somebody that doesn't have anything to hide, man. He's shooting. Regardless of if his parents or anybody else has anything to hide, he's shooting from the hip. This boy says, come on, bring it on. I ain't got nothing to hide. Come talk to me. I've been looking for you. I want the smoke. I want all of it. Come talk to me.
And for that reason alone, we have suffered the worst defamation imaginable. I request that you, as the Boulder City Council, direct the Boulder Police Department to release the documents we request to alleviate some of the damage this city has caused us. Thank you.
Thank you. Very well spoken. Very composed. Very well spoken. Mic drop moment. Fleet, to me, has taught his kids how to stand up for themselves and not back down. I don't want to do this, but I got to. Contrast this with John Ramsey and how John Ramsey's kids respond, right? The only one that's really coming with that energy, like Fleet White the third, would be John Andrew. That's really about it. You know, that's really kind of coming with that energy. You know, other than that, the one that and John Andrew wasn't even in it. Fleet White the third and Daphne, they're like, yo, that was my friend. This is my homie. Like, I was in it. I was knee deep in it, side by side. I saw my homie last night, and to wake up to the news, I'm in it. I'm answering any questions, even as a kid. And so this is a gentleman that's in it, that's talking about let's get to the bottom of it. Without it being somebody that's on the outside, going on information based on what they've been told. So that's why I'm leaning more toward Fleet and his clan being innocent.
Good evening. My name is Priscilla White, and I reside at 4350 Comanche Drive in Boulder. With regard to our family's request for the Krebs criminal justice records, there is simply nothing on your agenda this evening or that is likely to appear on future agendas for the remainder of your term on this council that is more important to this community and its ethos than the matter of the Krebs criminal justice records. Each of you must satisfy yourself that withholding these records from our family and the public is the just, fair, and transparent thing to do. Please do not rely on Mr. Carr or the Boulder District Attorney Garnett to make this determination for you. That decision is yours, not theirs. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you.
No questions?
We'll see what the council wants to say.
Okay.
And then we had the Whites come and speak to us, and I know both Fleet and Priscilla, and I've had the great pleasure of meeting with them at their home and speaking with them on multiple occasions. I also was on the city council when JonBenet was murdered, and I too have a son that's the same age as JonBenet and Daphne. And I can remember going home one night after this murder and climbing and looking at my 6-year-old and just seeing how little he was and how anybody could have hurt somebody like that. I cannot for the life of me understand, and I guess I'm asking for a reason why we would not accept their request. And I need more understanding of that. And I don't know, you're talking about children who were 6 and 8 years old when this murder occurred, and their reputations as well as their parents' reputations have been affected. And I think that's something that's not okay. I think as Fleet White III said, with the internet, you do have a crazy subsection out there, and they are very willing to make out-of-hand comments and statements about people that isn't followed up by fact. That death happened in late 1996, and I'm amazed that we have not yet fully finished everything. And I think one of the things, and I'm not a lawyer, I've just been on the council, but I think both Fleet and the second and Priscilla are in earnest of wanting to clear their family's name And I feel that, at least from what I have read, that this Nancy Krebs was a person without substance, without any credibility, and really took a hard wipe at the Fleet White family. And I think whatever we can do to put them back, to make them feel whole after all of these years, I don't think we ever can do that, but I think we can do something to help them feel whole. And so whether that has to be told to me in a confidential memo
I can explain why.
or something, but
And the reason is pretty clear, and this isn't a new issue.
I know
The White sued us several years ago to get these documents. So the issue is these are police investigative documents in an open investigation. So the police objected to the disclosure of the documents because they showed police investigative techniques in an open investigation. A judge did an in-camera review of the documents, and she decided that some of the documents should be released. So those documents were released, and those are the ones that were provided to you. There are other documents that this independent judge decided would disclose confidential police investigative techniques, and particularly relating to an ongoing murder investigation, and she ordered that they not be released. That was several years ago. The current lawsuit, would ask the current district court to reconsider that decision. There's a concept in law called res judicata, that the court rules on something, they rule on it once, and there's no purpose in having a second judge make the same determination. I'm not an expert in police investigation or police investigative techniques. This was all tried long before I was here. There was a hearing, as I said, and the judge reviewed them in camera. The judge decided that. My only role in this has been when a second lawsuit comes in on the same subject, asking for a different judge to reconsider the same opinion, that's not something that's done. So we got that dismissed, and that's where that is right now. I would not recommend that the council get involved in making decisions on release of police records that involve investigative techniques in an ongoing investigation. It's unfortunate that this woman made these claims. I think they've been demonstrated that those claims were absolutely untrue. I think the police cleared them back shortly after that happened. I'm not sure what in these records would help. I haven't seen the records. As I said, my only involvement has been the second time the lawsuit came and getting it dismissed.
so what options would the Fleet White family have? Go back to court?
No, I mean, they've been to court. A court ruled on this long before I was here.
So they have,
So he's saying basically, and I think, so you're saying that just because your take is that, no, we're not going to discuss this any further, is your take, because we've already ruled on it. But yeah, that was years ago. That was several years ago. Things may have changed. The police investigative techniques may have been completed and done. This is something that we can, disclose now. So if there's any updates, I think that, if you approve some of these documents back then, maybe there's more documents that you can release to give more of a fuller picture to help. And I think that what you should do is, as you come to the knowledge of new things, that, you should update and say, okay, we're comfortable with releasing these 3 new documents now, just to stay abreast of, being able to continue to clear. I know you said it, but being able to continue to clear these people, I think, would be in earnest.
no appeal to that?
They decided not to appeal that then. They could have appealed back then. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, I appreciate,
It's really unfair. I mean, Ms. Wright personally pointed at me and suggested that I was doing something wrong, which is unfair.
and you weren't here, I understand.
3 people who suggested tonight that I've done something wrong. So, I mean, I
I'm
don't
not-
feel I fixed
I'm
it, but
not
I get
doing
tired of
that,
it
but-
at some point. So I can answer the questions, but that's why.
Okay.
So, how long will the investigation be ongoing?
Oh, that I guess that's who Fleet White III looked at.
Will it be cold cased and stay open for decades, or what will determine the?
Perhaps the police can answer, but I mean, it's an ongoing murder investigation, and usually murder investigations, since there's no statute of limitations, stay open until they find who did it.
Okay, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but a grand jury chose to hand an indictment and a DA chose not to prosecute. So what impact does that have on the ongoing status? Could there be new evidence found and a new grand jury impaneled? I mean, I guess I'm asking for a realistic look forward. What is likely to happen with this?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not my area.
So yeah, from the energy, I couldn't really, obviously you can't really see too much. Because they're not facing the camera. But from what you can tell, the tone of voice and everything else, and the energy, and basically running up to the podium to say, free this information so you can free us. I think that they're pretty open to any questions. I mean, from the very get-go, from the very beginning, they put their kids on the line. And if you're willing to put your kids on the line, you know, that means you had to, you know, pretty quickly. If you didn't want them to say something, yeah, it means you had to pretty quickly, you know, tell them what not to say is what you had to do. But I don't see any stories of Fleet and Priscilla trying to shield their kids from being interviewed. I don't see that. Maybe you see it. Maybe you've seen it. I don't see it. So there's just a different way in which these two families deal with this tragedy. One family is running toward it, saying, we want to stay abreast of it. We want to put our kids on it. We want to put all our cards on the table and put everything forward so that you know that we are an open book and we had nothing to do with it. Whereas on the other hand, what it seems like with John and his family is that they say, wait. You can't just jump on us like that. You got to give us a chance to, you know, collect our thoughts. And then we will tell you what we want to tell you. We will proceed how we want to proceed. It's not that we're guilty. We just want to proceed how we want to proceed. It's just two different ways of dealing with it. Two different energies in which you deal with things. I just don't like the second energy. I like Fleet White's energy. I just don't like John's energy. It's just, so that's the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Maybe I'm tripping. Like, share, subscribe. And until the next video, take it easy.